warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome to my video for the Midtest in Tefl in Indonesia. Today, we're diving into some topics related to teaching English as a full-range language, especially here in Indonesia. We will look at the Merdeka curriculum, essential teaching principles, assessment strategies, and designing effective learning outcomes. So, if you're interested in EFL teaching, stick around and let's get started. Question 1. Potential issues of Curriculum Merdeka for EFL teachers. Alright, let's start with the Merdeka curriculum, which gives schools and teachers more freedom and flexibility. Sound awesome, right? But with more freedoms comes new challenge. Here are a few that EFL teachers need to be prepared for. Number one is understanding the curriculum. It means some teachers feel confused about the curriculum's goals. Many haven't received enough guidance or training, so they're unsure of what exactly to teach or how to do it. And then number two, changing teaching method. The Merdeka curriculum encourage more student-centered learning, which can be big shift for teacher used to traditional method. Without clear guidance, changing this method can be challenging. Number three is limited resources. Access to updated textbook, technology, and other teaching materials is still limited in some schools. This lack of resources makes it hard for teachers to keep lesson engaging and interactive. Number four is mixed abilities in the classroom. Another challenge is dealing with students who have different levels of English exposure. Some students may practice at home, while others may be new to the language. Number five is assessment issues. Creating fair assessment that fit the Merdeka curriculum goals can be tricky. Teachers need better tools and technique to measure students' progress effectively. For these issues, we can start by implementing clear and consistent training for teachers on the curriculum, sharing resources among teachers, and developing better ways to assess mixed level classes. And then question number two is essential principles for effective EFL teaching. To be an effective EFL teachers, we need to follow some key principles. Here are the big three. The first is learner-centered approach. This means putting students at the center of the learning process. Instead of just delivering information, the teacher acts as a facilitator, helping students take ownership of their learning. Research shows that this approach can make learning more engaging and meaningful. Number two, second is differentiated instruction. Every student is unique. By tailoring lessons to fit different abilities and backgrounds, teachers can create a more inclusive classroom where each student can learn at their own pace. And then third is constructive feedback. It means good feedback is specific, timely, and actionable. It helps students understand their strengths and areas for improvement. For example, giving quick correction in a language lesson can prevent students from forming bad habits. When combined, these principles create a supportive and motivating learning environment where students can thrive. And then question number three is strategies for effective formative and summative assessment. Now let's talk about assessment. In EFL, assessments aren't just about testing, but also about supporting growth. Here are some practical examples of formative, ongoing, and summative final assessment for each language skills. Alright, first is listening. For formative assessment, students can keep a listening journal to track their progress with audio materials like podcasts. For a summative assessment, we could use comprehension tests based on audio clips. And then second is speaking. Speaking, for formative assessment, reviews work well. Students give feedback to each uh, each other, building confidence. For summative assessment, an oral exam can evaluate fluency, pronunciation, and content. And then third is reading. Reading logs are great for formative assessment, where students summarize what they read and reflect on it. For summative, comprehension tests can be effective. And then fourth is writing. Peer review for draft helps students improve their work. For the final assessment, a well-structured essay or research paper can showcase their writing skills. And then uh, fifth, viewing and presenting. For formative assessment, students can get feedback during presentation, while a capstone project can be a great summative assessment for visual and verbal communication skills. These strategies help create a balanced assessment approach that promotes learning and improvement. And then the last one is question number 4, designing learning outcomes that align with assessment. In my opinion, one of the key to effective EFL teaching is to ensure that the learning outcomes or learning objectives are aligned with the way students are assessed. First, I will define the learning objective clearly and specifically so that they are easy for students to understand. For example, if the goal is for students to write a coherent argumentative essay, then the assessment should be an essay assignment. This allows students to understand what they are accomplishing and see the connection between what they are learning and how they will be assessed. To develop stepwise learning objective, I use Bloom's taxonomy guide. This approach helped me design learning activities that move from simple to more complex tasks so students can hone their critical and analytical thinking skills gradually. I also find it important to align classroom activities with learning objective. If my goals is to improve students' speaking skills, then I will organize a role play activities or real life scenarios to give them practical speaking practice, which in turn prepares them for final assessments such as presentation. In addition, formative assessments such as short quizzes or peer reviews provide continuous feedback so that students know their progress before reaching the final assessment. Finally, I make sure the assessment criteria are clear by using rubrics. For example, to assess listening comprehension, the rubric could include bullet points, and on comprehension and summarization skills. I think this approach makes the learning process more coherent and transparent, so students can see the big picture and focus on developing their skills more effectively. That's all on my video. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.